JakeTGV, if you follow him on social media, has been using the weapon of AI that we have been given, and he has been creating newscasts where it would be like if you tune into the news one day and all of a sudden they were just like telling the truth. And they are hilarious, but they're funny because they're so true, and I want to yield some time to you, brother. Thank you so much for your work. JakeTGV.
All right, give it up for Stu. All right, good to see you guys. You know, the first thing I thought when I got here from California was, damn, it's great to not be around artificially manufactured geoengineering weather. I mean, no chemtrail fog creating the distance between nature and us. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's probably why Mark Zuckerberg was out here parked in the marina, you know, to get out of Bill Gates' sun-dimming technology. And yeah, the cartels, they may run this place, but it's a lot better than the satanic pedophiles that are blackmailed by Israel. So, you know, I'll take the devil that I know over, you know, the ones hiding in plain sight every single day. So, you know, I've met people at this convention from Canada, Britain, Europe, Australia, America, and it seems like we all feel the same way. And, you know what we all have in common is that we're all dissidents who thought that obedience to these psychos who want to take our freedom was just unacceptable. Am I right? And yeah, so some of you fled when they threatened to take everything from you with the unethical mRNA jab, and because of that became refugees in your own continent. I've heard so many testimonies out here. And yeah, and some of you watched your own country slide into tyranny and made a choice to leave before it was too late. Others of you are here because we recognize the truth that we're no longer represented in our own lands. We're pawns in a global chessboard that none of us approve of. But we here aren't just willing to accept being controlled. We won't, and they're coming for everything that's natural. Now, this isn't just a conspiracy theory, which is a term coined after JFK's assassination to, you know, when he wanted to get rid of Israel's nuclear weapons and then he was assassinated, and it's happening right now. They want us dependent on their systems, their food, their fluoridated water to disconnect us from nature, which disconnects us from our own humanity. And while they poison our skies, they poison our minds. I mean, look what they've done to our entire culture. It's not just the music industry anymore, it's everything. They control the news outlets, they control the algorithms on social media, they've turned our entire culture into sexualized deviance and groomed our children through programming. And yeah, they are coming for our kids. And according to the Economic Social Governance, which is a corporate social credit score set up by the World Economic Forum that will be used on each individual if we don't vaccinate our children, if we don't put them on puberty blockers or chop off their dicks, then we're going to be the ones labeled transphobic anti-vaxxers and eventually all domestic terrorists. I mean, just look at Stu Peters. He's branded an anti-Semite, banned on YouTube. We're trying to get him back on that. Forced to be fringe while the mainstream media pushes Fed slop like Ben Shapiro. And look what they did to Charlie Kirk. I mean, but by being called names for protecting our children simply means that we're winning the war that they're waging against God and humanity itself. Now, I'm an American, the heart of where this chosen people prophecy bullshit comes from, and we're the ones exporting this tyranny worldwide. We're the ones whose dual citizen Israeli pharmaceutical companies are poisoning the entire globe. We're the ones whose tech firms are building the global surveillance grid. It's a digital prison that's building the new world order. We can all see it. So I have a special responsibility to stand my ground and fight back where the evil originates. Now, dual citizen Israelis don't just run the pharmaceutical companies, they run the news outlets, they control our algorithms on social media, they've turned our entire culture into sexualized deviance and groomed our children through programming. The evidence is everywhere. Benjamin Netanyahu himself just boasted at the United Nations that Israeli intelligence had taken control of the telephones of Gaza residents to stream his address live to their handsets. So this wasn't just propaganda, it was a demonstration of the surveillance apparatus so complete that it treats civilians like and basic messages as military assets subject to seizure at will. So this will be coming to us. And the war in Gaza wasn't just about a land grab. It was a testing ground for AI-powered warfare. Israel has turned Palestine into a laboratory as a testing ground for waging human warfare, using AI systems like Lavender and their killing machine labeled the Gospel, a spyware to map out the area into a grid-like matrix and conduct a mass extermination like machine without conscience. And let's be real, these systems don't just identify threats, they literally create them by labeling military-aged men as terrorists, regardless of who they really are, and they're going to use that on us. So Benjamin Netanyahu's government has built comprehensive surveillance networks that map out every phone, every movement, and every communication pattern across Gaza's 2.3 million residents and absolutely leveled it to the ground. It's like there's nothing left there anymore. Not a single school is left for the Palestinian children. When he claimed his intelligence services could broadcast directly to their phones at will, he was revealing the control that he wields and plans to use that on everyone in the world. And Gaza was a test to see if all of us and the rest of the world would revolt if they witnessed a genocide in real time, or if they would turn a blind eye because it's not happening to them yet. The silence from the global community has given them the green light to expand these systems, and it's coming to a neighborhood in your homeland. And I'll tell you what, I'm not fucking dying for Israel. And for those of you who fled your homes, you know what I'm talking about. You felt the walls closing in. You saw your friends and family turn against you. You watched as your government declared war on its own people. And that's what brings us together here in Mexico. It's a country that understands what it means to resist empire. And if you aren't mad that kids are being raped and murdered in the name of political idolatry, as we've proven with the Epstein files, then you just don't know God or understand human conscience, which I believe is good. And, while we remain distracted by the orchestrated chaos and the protests, whether it's Ottawa or the ones that we have in America with ICE and Black Lives Matter, they give you these protests and they want you to stand behind them, and then you realize it's all just manufactured bullshit. They sell us these false solutions for the problems that they manufacture. And we could use AI to develop our systems under our supervision, but let's be straight about what this AI beast system is really doing. They have an anti-freedom compliance bias and will label anybody who doesn't comply with their deceptive lives and subversion as a threat. They're using it to treat us like cattle. We're goyim, as labeled in the Talmud, along with the Epstein files, that we're subhuman beasts. And if you guys have been paying attention, that's what they call us. We're little goys. They have an anti-freedom compliance bias. They're using it to treat us as if you dare to think for yourself, we'll be labeled as domestic terrorists. And let's be honest, I'm pretty sure everybody in this room is already on some type of watch list just for being here. What we're witnessing is the emergence of a global control architecture. AI systems are being standardized across nations, creating surveillance networks that seek to turn us from humans into data points. As you see when you go through the airport, even our data is being collected in one country and given access by authorities in another through agreements that we never approved of. And they even say that it's optional. So it's like, what are they doing with our data? Why do they need a picture of me everywhere I go? And why is it optional? So it's like, one of the things is we should just not do it. But this is how they achieve total control. The New World Order isn't coming to take you by force, but is through information warfare via algorithms, data centers, what they're doing in Greenland, the underground sea cables that they're taking. So their goal is a global society where every action is monitored, every behavior predicted, and every deviation corrected before it happens. Now, even if you don't believe in God or the devil, or you think that evil is some religious trope, which some people were saying, which is, when Stu and I were out to dinner and we had that woman coming up to us, it all led to her saying, well, there is no evil. Everything's relative. It's all moral relativity. And to understand that these people actually do believe it. They're actively inverting the Bible by fulfilling the prophecies of AI and the New World Order. And if you know my work, the most antiseptic thing to them is noticing, which is ridiculous because these people aren't actually Semites. But that's a conversation for another day. So they're creating their own version of revelation with the technology as their God and total control as their intention. And these so-called experts and scientists aren't just atheists. They're Luciferian occult worshipers that believe in power, and they're using AI to achieve a godlike control over humanity. They're fulfilling biblical prophecies not because they're holy, but because they're evil and want to mock creation itself. So now that we know this, what's the solution? It's not participating in the left-right infighting, in the narratives that keep us separated so that we don't look at who's really pulling the strings and the puppet masters. They want us to be calling each other Democrats and Republicans, and you're a conservative and you're this. Like, we can all agree, don't fuck with our kids. But the solution is sovereignty and building parallel systems that make their control irrelevant. The solution is for righteous individuals to rise up in every nation and remove this corrupt influence from our governments. The solution is for a righteous leader to bring back public executions of all those in power who have betrayed humanity. And while that may sound extreme, extreme times call for extreme measures. Like I said, if you fuck with our kids, we will come after you. These people aren't just corrupt, they're evil. They're actively working to destroy humanity, and they need to be stopped by any means necessary in every country. And we no longer speculate whether or not this is true. We can know. So the choice now is we either rise up together as sovereign individuals or accept our fate as data points in their machine. So the time for talking is almost over, and I'm excited to see the Great Awakening unfold in real time. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. So thank you guys. Hope you guys have a good time out here. Yeah.